Now we come to the next lesson of statistics, which is presentation of data. Introduction. Now data needs to be presented in the compact form. This will make the data easily readable and understandable. There are three forms of presentation of data in general. So data presentations can be in the textual or descriptive form, in the tabular form, and the diagrammatic form. Textual data presentation. Describing of the data are done within the text as there is large volume of the data collected in the textual presentation of data. Now, example for the textual data presentation is, in a class of 45 students, 10 students scored above 80 marks in mathematics, 15 students scored between 60 and 70 marks, 10 students scored between 50 and 60 marks, and the remaining 5 students scored below 50 marks. The second example of the textual or descriptive data presentation can be, in a survey conducted by the local government officials, it was found that for 100 households, 60 households uses LPG or liquid petroleum gas, 30 households uses induction stoves, and 10 households use traditional methods for cooking. Now, the limitations for the textual data presentation is, one has to read the whole of the data presented in the textual or descriptive form, which requires time and much more focus on the descriptions. Tabular presentation of the data. In the tabular form of presentation of data, there are horizontal rows and vertical columns to present the data. The advantages for the tabular data presentations are, the organization of data is easily understanding and comparing of the data for statistical analysis is possible, and decision making is a faster process in this tabular presentation of data. Now, the classifications of tabular data presentations are four classifications. First one is qualitative classification. Second one is quantitative classification. Third one is temporal classification. And fourth one is spatial classification. Here we find the qualitative classification of the tabular data presentation. The classification is based on the attributes like sex, location, social status, nationality, language, etc. The example of the qualitative classifications are represented in table 4.1. Here, literacy in country A by sex and location are presented. So we find in the table 4.1 sex male, female, and their presentation in rural location and urban location is provided. So we get the source here as an hypothetical example. In the graph on the right hand side, we can see that the male and female based on the rural location is presented. Here we find male in the rural location is 78 and female in the rural location is 59, given by the blue bar in the graph, and male in the urban location is 90 and female in the urban location is 85, which is given by the orange bar in the graph itself. The quantitative classification of tabular data presentation is data which has the quantitative features or are measurable and quantified are used for this presentation. Examples of quantitative classification are age, height, marks, income, salary, etc. Here given below is the data presented in the quantitative classification of the tabular form. We can see in table 4.2 the quantitative classifications of the data as per the age and the number of students are presented. So age 0 to 10, number of student is 3. Age 10 to 20, number of students is 5. Age 20 to 30, number of student is 8. Temporal classification of tabular data presentation. Here the data are classified based on the time. Time can be hours, days, minutes, seconds, months, or years. The example for temporal classification of tabular data presentation is given below. Here the sales percentage of a tea shop for 3 consecutive years are presented. So in the table 4.3, we see sales of a tea shop in a locality in 3 years. The years given are 2023, 2024, 2025, and the sales in percentage are shown as 76, 67, and 56. The spatial classification of tabular data presentation. Here the classification of spatial classification of tabular presentation of data is based on the place like city, locality, society, town, state, country. The geographic location is used for spatial classification of data presentation. Here we see an example below. The example given is rainfall in different cities. Table 4.4 shows the rainfall annually in different cities. Here, rainfall annually is measured in millimeter and the cities given are city A, B, and C. Rainfall are given as 1800 millimeter, 1500 millimeter, and 1200 millimeter for city A, B, and C. So this is the spatial classification tabular data presentation example. Now we come to the data tabulation and parts of a data. The parts of a table used for data tabulations are table number, a unique number for identification, title which describes the table, head note, small notes below the title which explains the units or context, the column heading, top row showing what each column represents, row heading, first row showing what each row represents, body, the main part of the table showing the actual values, footnote, additional explanation at the bottom provided, source shows where the data collected is taken from. So here below in table 4.5 we see the data tabulation and parts of our data shown properly. So table number is 4.5. The marks of student is the title. Then we find the row heading, the column heading, source, all given here. Now we come to the last part of data presentation, which is the diagrammatic presentation of data. Here, the diagrammatic presentation of data are of 3 types. They are the geometric presentation, the frequency presentation, and the arithmetic line graph presentation. Below the geometric presentation, we will learn about the bar diagram, the component bar diagram, the pie diagram. Below the frequency, we will be understanding what is histogram, what is frequency polygon, what is frequency curve, and what is ogive. While in the arithmetic line graph, which is also known as the time series graph, we will be learning all about it in the next presentation. Thank you.